Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to the principal's opening to our back to school night. Just want to report that we are off to a great start, and a special thanks to all of you, our students and our staff, for our start so far. First big item that everyone needs to be aware of is our drop off. All right, so starting around 7:40, we've had some major congestion. And that's the reason why is because we've actually added another arrival spot this year. We did add our 3K program, which meant moving our pre-K program over to the other building. And so now we have more parents and families joining us, which is great, but it's now creating a lot of congestion when it comes to arrival. And so take a look at this image here. This is what we want to do, is keep this flowing so parents can come in and out. And this is kind of what it's looked like. We have a lot of parents that are double parking and walking their student in. If you want to walk your student in, we have no problem with that, but you cannot park directly in front of our walkways here. You're going to have to find a spot, ideally up on 83rd Street, or even going around the block on 84th Street. Here by my cursor, there's going to be a lot more spots for you to park than walk in. And this is what we need to do going forward. We need to put up some cones. I'll be out there a few days a week to help just kind of handle what's going on. And I'm currently at this annex store for arrival. So there'll be some type of staff member here directing traffic when I'm not going to be there. But if you guys can just kind of help do your part of just coming in, we're going to have 2 spots for pull-in. There should not be anybody parking and walking from right then. You won't be, because there'll be an adult that is directing you. So please just follow the directions of whoever that is out there. If it's me, if it's Miss Morelli, if it's Mr. Keith, our custodian. It just makes for a lot easier transition in and out, and we can just keep this flowing. Last year, even though it was congested at times, it was never as bad as it's been so far. But please just follow the directions. Upper grade students should be walking in by themselves, not in this area here. So parents, please, if you feel the need to walk them in, please park up the street and then walk them in from there. And we thank you for your understanding on that. It's going to make for a lot easier of an experience and less stressful for us all in the morning. Just a quick review of our safety protocols. Again, we have these in place. This is established from our diocese, and this is coming from the CDC. So we're going to continue our daily screening. We have temperature check upon arrivals. We do have to have masks in the buildings. And that's just coming straight from our state. So I know some of you guys are in disagreement of that, but you guys have been very understanding for the most part, and we're going to just continue to do that, keep everyone safe. And we have been utilizing the social distance protocols. So that means it's 6 feet apart when they're not in their classroom, and when they're in their classrooms, we're allowed to have up to 3 feet. And so that does change things now. If there happens to be a positive case in the classroom, only those within 3 feet of that student for more than 10 minutes throughout the day are going to have to quarantine. So if this happens throughout the year and you're notified, what will happen is this. So let's say this student right here has a positive case. If the desks and the teacher's desk are 3 feet apart, they will not have to quarantine. So this has changed due to the CDC. I know parents were a little surprised last year when those policies evolved, but this is what we follow here, and this is what's going to be followed in the other school districts, throughout our state. So please be aware of that. I'm not aware of any official letter that goes out when there's a case, but you'll receive that for the classes that apply. And so please do know that we do follow everything that is given to us through the guidance of the diocese. So anytime that you receive a letter for a case in your class, that's coming directly through my communication with our head in the diocese, and I don't do anything if it's not instructed through them. Or hopefully we won't have to worry about that this year. We're off to a great start, but just in case that it does happen. Next, we have to be ready to go to remote learning, for different reasons. According to the quarantine there on close contacts, at worst it would be, that student and maybe a couple others if they were within the 3 feet. For just being out of their seat and such. And those students would then have to quarantine. So we will offer that option, but it's only for quarantine students. It's not going to be somebody who has a doctor's appointment for something else. All right. So please, we have to stick to this policy so that it's fair for everyone. Next is a reminder to sign up for Remind. Those codes are on the website for you to add to that account. I know some teachers are using that in our school, especially in the upper grades. Just a great way to communicate back and forth. And your St. Adalbert Remind message that you send goes directly to my cell phone. And many times I get back to parents within seconds of their question or concern. This is just a great way to communicate back and forth. If we have a question, if you forgot to send in a note for after school, you can just let us know. You should always contact the teacher directly, but if you're not getting a response, then let me know, and then I'll pass on that information. And parents have been really understanding and great about that, so it is a really nice system that we have. Our fax management system has taken the place of option C, and there's a definite learning curve for everyone, teachers, me, and for parents. So please follow the steps. You're going to set up your own account. You're going to type in our code. That information is going to be on the website. Send me any questions that you have on that. But once this system is in place, you're going to see that having everything in one place is going to be very nice. And this is going to change everything. Parent alerts. There's no more leaving voice messages, from my voice. There's now a robot that's going to transcribe the text that I have. So I'm not too crazy about that idea, but that's the only option that we have. So we're going to utilize email, the text messages through the parent alerts, but also Remind. So if you can sign up for Remind, it really makes this a lot easier. This is going to be new for everyone as we go into our first report card and parent-teacher conferences. There's not a function set up right now for that. So we might have to utilize a different platform for signing up for parent-teacher conferences, but more information to follow there. School uniform, we do know that some of you guys had issues with the backlogs of ordering, and parents have been great about this, that if you're not able to get a St. Adalbert official uniform piece, that you can use a matching color, especially for the polos. Maroon or white is fine for now. And we do ask for those black shoes when it comes to the uniform days. All right, so tennis shoes on your regular uniform day is not acceptable. Again, this is your dress attire that you're putting on your uniform. You're flipping that switch to be serious throughout the day, and when students are dressed up in their uniform, it really does look nice and set a really positive and serious tone. And the same thing with gym. So gym uniforms are once a week now. We'll be utilizing gut cards, gym uniform today cards as incentives as the year goes. And we will be having dress down day Fridays every Friday now throughout the year. We've had a lot of parents ask us about this, and they really like that. Students really like that. And that is the option there. And again, if your student is not participating in dress down Friday, that's fine. They're to then wear their regular uniform that day, not their gym uniform, their regular uniform that day. Next change this year is, many schools throughout our diocese are doing an opt-in policy unless notified otherwise. All right, so every year most parents choose to have their student photographs in every one of those ways, and so we're going to have that automatic option unless you notify us otherwise. And so you guys were sent that form last week with the handbook that's online, so you can fill that out on there and say that I choose to opt out my student from photographs. And these are the different category questions, which I'm going to post a survey, and that will also be on the website there. So you're going to have daily screening questions, remind codes for now, and then the opt-out survey. So you only have to complete that survey if you're choosing to opt out of photographs in any of these forms. All right, so maybe we use your child's image on our website in our promotional materials. That means Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Maybe we use your children's image on our printed promotional publications. We don't really use that too much anymore, but that might be in the tablet or a brochure that we make. Maybe we send out your child's image with our press release. We really don't do that too often anymore, but just in case, those questions will be on that survey for you. Next, a very big challenge we've had lately is just the care of Chromebooks. All right, so now our items are going on, a couple years old. This has been a great grant that our diocese has brought in for us, and those parents that signed up for that DeSales grant a couple years ago, we do appreciate that. But our biggest issues now have been in our Chromebook screens and our charger, especially charger tips and cords. So please make sure that your students have their Chromebooks not on the bottom of heavy books. It should always be on the top. The charger tips are very sensitive. So my advice to you guys is setting up a station at home where you only plug in the tip. The cord itself stays in a place, and then all you're doing is just plugging it in. That will secure the use of that throughout the year and future years. because when we do get those items in to replace, there is a very long wait. We go through chargers very, very frequently now. They are expensive, and that's a cost on us all. That's a part of our tech lab fee that you guys are charged every year. It has to do with the upkeep of all these items. It has to do with the Wi-Fi. It has to do with the servicing. All this, is a part of it. Having the G Suite of Google Classroom and all your Gmail accounts there with the students and all of the different platforms, it is expensive, and this is where that fee is going. So please do the best you can to take care of that. If you do have an issue with your Chromebook, a screen, a key, we will send that in, but we'll give you a replacement. But that original item is going to take months and months for them to return those to us, unfortunately. Next is a reminder on After School and Sonic. We do have that free Sonic program for grades 6th, 7th, and 8th. That's starting now in less than 2 weeks on Monday, September 27th. We do have that paid program now for all the other grades and even for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students that don't want to participate in Sonic. And that is a pay by hour or day program. We did have to raise the fees this year just because we hadn't done so in years. And if you take a look at them by hour and by day, that's still a very extremely reasonable and fair rate based off of what you're going to find in after school and care elsewhere. Next is we do have the Title I opportunity, and there's always misconceptions about Title I. All right, so this doesn't mean that your student is severely academically challenged. What it means is that you live in a zoned area or neighborhood that is Title I eligible, just based off of income of that neighborhood. All right, so what happens is you are eligible now to receive extra academic support in ELA or math. And so in the past, we've done this in person a couple of years ago before the pandemic. Last year, it was remote. To all those eligible families last year, we did send out a survey, and many of them wanted to try the in-person again. And we're looking to start that up starting at 2 p.m. in the afternoon in our schedule. So that is what we're going to try to start here in a couple of weeks. We just have to coordinate it because I know there's families that are going to be sending their students to Sonic as well. So if you are interested in that, you haven't heard from Title I, you can let me know and I can try to get you on that list. It's all going to be based off of your address. So there might be students that would like to have it, but based off of your neighborhood, you're not eligible. And it's based off a couple of things when it comes to the academic eligibility. A performance can be a part of it, but there is a piece where a teacher can recommend extra help for the student based off of their mode of learning in class. And so there's ways to get that service offered to you if you are eligible. So please let us know. We'll try to work that in. And then just plans for the upcoming year. We will be utilizing our STEM lab that is brand new and the equipments and such, and we're going to start that a regular schedule in October. Music will eventually be brought back into our school later this year. The goal is to have a spring concert this year, but that might be restricted again, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. We will be going through an accreditation process this year in terms of our academics and our systems, which is good. It's a lot of work for our school and especially myself, but it's going to really help tighten things up and it's going to really help improve our academic performance. I will be sharing all that information with you guys as we go through that kind of, in a form of updates. A lot of great things are happening now, but we want to make it officially great, and that's where our motto for the year comes in, going from good to great. So a lot of good things here in so many different ways, but we want to officially make that transition into great. So that's kind of our motto. We're going to be using kind of a lot of themes with our students this year, kind of monthly. So they'll be hearing about that. We're going to be incorporating more of a social emotional learning program into our school as well with topics and character traits. So very exciting times ahead here for our school year, and we're really looking forward to a great year. So now we're going to pass it on to the teachers later this evening. So we do have our 2 sessions. So if you have a multiple student family, you can choose which one you want to go to. So you can go to both sessions for your students in the lower grades or upper grades or vice versa. And so session 1 is going to go from 6:30 to 7:10. We leave the 5 minutes in between just for a natural break and just for teachers to end the meetings and then start again. So those session Zoom links have been emailed to you. In case you need them, you can send me an email or a remind message with your email, and then I will send it out to you immediately afterwards. And then just lastly, kind of a link to what you're seeing here. We're going to continue now our Home Academy Association meetings. Last year, we kind of did them randomly throughout the months. what we're going to do is set a time. So this is going to be every first Tuesday of the month in the evening there. We'll do it at 7 o'clock. Last year they were 30 minutes at tops. And so what it's going to be is basically an update of everything that's been going on, kind of like a principal's address, state of the academy. We're going to look ahead to fundraisers that are coming up. Our first big one here in the fall is going to be our walkathon, which we brought back last year for the first time in many years, and it was a great hit. So you're going to hear more information about that. We always have parents ask about how they can be involved in the PTA, and that's what it's called here in the private school. Diocese World of Brooklyn, Queens. It's the HAA for Home Academy Association. And that's going to be every month, the first Tuesday, kind of a good way to remember it. It's not mandatory. You can just kind of come and just listen if you would like, but we would like to have that parent involvement, especially as our fundraisers are launched as the year goes. And we're always very open to hear your ideas and questions and concerns that you have. And it really helps to make our systems here as great and seamless as possible. And last but not least, thank you as always for your trust in us and your support. We have had, as always, families join us, especially from the public school world, and they've been very impressed once again at everything that we're able to offer the kids, the teachers, the parents. This is a very family-friendly and traditional academy. We thank you for everything that you guys bring. It's been a great first week of school. It's been seamless once again. There's always concerns, right, with everything that's going on in our pandemic world. But again, it feels normal here in school. And so we thank you guys for all of your efforts to make that happen. It really is truly a special place here, and we look forward to a really, really great year.